Buenos días. Es el miércoles y son las 12. Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday and it's 12 o'clock, so it's time for our second community Spanish of this week. Number 2 of 3, broadcasting every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. We also have a couple of reminders of things going on in terms of our other live videos and other programs going on that I want to mention before we get into the topic of today's video. So we have both the community Spanish, as I'm doing on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we also have community French on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8:30, so you can get a little bit of French at the start of your day. And we also have our children's programs still running in the afternoon. So every weekday at 3 o'clock, we have children's French, and every weekday at 3:30, we have children's Spanish. So there's lots to watch on our Facebook channel. In addition to that, we also have Instagram Live going for French and Portuguese for adult classes. It's in a very different style than these lessons we're doing on Facebook. So definitely recommend that you check those out as well. One other reminder that we have July classes are starting this week. So there's maybe a couple of classes that still have an open space or two in them. So if you are still hoping to get into a July class, please get in touch with us as soon as you can. Including there are a couple more classes that are starting next week as well in the second week of July. So there's a little bit more time to get into those classes. And if there's a Intro 2 Spanish class coming up and an Intro 3 Portuguese class coming up next week. So if either of those class levels is what you're looking for, please feel free to reach out. Last reminder is that please like, comment, and share in the video so we know what you're enjoying. And also please feel free to check out the Facebook Live page on our website, which has all of the videos uploaded by subject, so you can easily find what you need, and also has some extra worksheets. So if you want to do a little bit more practice in addition to the video, or if you want to send it along to someone else who you think might benefit, then you're welcome to check out those resources on our website. So those are my last things to mention. So without further ado, we're going to get into the topic of today. Today is more of another kind of more basic level. So if you're a Spanish beginner learner and you're looking to learn some numbers in Spanish, that's what we're going to be starting on today. So today we're going to cover the numbers 1 to 20 as we kind of get our roll going, I suppose we could say. And then on Friday, I'm going to follow it up with a second video, which is going to be covering the numbers 21 to 100. So we're going to be covering the numbers 1 to 100 in this week. So let's get started with the numbers 0 to 20. And so we're going to get started now. Bueno. So I'm going to share my screen. You can see the numbers in front of you as well. So of course, like as always, when we're learning new vocabulary, repetition is key for us to make sure we're pronouncing something correctly and clearly, and also to help our brains to start learning this new information, because the more times we repeat it, the more likely we're able to remember something. So it's always good practice to repeat new vocabulary you're learning out loud, and also to put it in writing as well. Both those activities of saying again and again, and also writing again and again, will help your brain to remember things. So it's definitely a good strategy to use when you're learning a new language. So let's start with los números. So we're starting with the numbers. Again, we're doing 0 to 20 today. So first number we have, por favor, repiten después de mí. Please repeat after me. 0. 0. Then we have 1. 1. 2. 2. 3. 3. 4. 4. 5. 5. 6. 6. 7. 7. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10. 11. 11. 12. 12. 13. 13. 14. 14. 15. 15. 16. 16. 17. 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20. Muy bien, we got to 20. So before we repeat these one more time, I wanted to just mention a couple of notes, a couple of pointers on these numbers. So first one I want to make mention is for the number 6, for 6. So remember when we were pronouncing this one, that the E and the I together is going to make really one sound. So we're not saying like seis, like pronouncing the E and the I separately, but we're saying it as one with seis, seis. And then by contrast for the next one, for 7, this is where we are going to separate. So we say siete, siete. So you can hear how the E, the I in English, and the E for the E in English are being pronounced very distinctly with siete. Okay, a couple of other pointers. So for making sure with nueve, students often confuse this word with the word nuevo, which means new. So we have nuevo or nueva, meaning new, like something is brand new, and nueve ending with E, which is the number. So just make sure that you keep that in mind when you're going to say the number nueve, that you don't say nuevo or nueva. One other thing about for the last one on this first column for 10, so remembering that with the Z or the zeta in Spanish, that we want to pronounce this as a light kind of S sound. As I've mentioned in previous videos, if you're in Spain, they have a kind of particular accent where this would be pronounced as a TH, so you say 10. But for most of the other Spanish-speaking countries, we use the S sound when we see a Z. So make sure that you're not saying 10 with a hard Z sound, but it's 10. Okay, so nice light S sound. And one more note I want to put on these numbers in the teens on the right-hand side. So like 16, 17, 18, 19, for these numbers. So in older forms of Spanish, they used to write the number out piece by piece. So for example, it would say 10 y 6, 10 and 6 to make 16. So this is the way that it used to be written in Spanish, but you see the way we spelled them in this list is the modern form of Spanish. So we have the kind of combined all into one word. But you will still see in many Spanish texts that where they spell the numbers by kind of separating them out. So you can still see that pretty commonly. But according to the modern standards of Spanish, like if you look in the dictionary, they should be all as one word. But you maybe will see as you kind of go through your journey in Spanish, you will see that you can sometimes find them written out piece by piece. So both of them are correct. It's just that one is more of the modern standard, which we have here, and then one is an older standard. So just keep an eye out for that. So vamos a repetir una vez más. We're going to repeat these all one more time before we go to our exercise to practice them together. So we're going to start again. Vamos con 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20. Muy bien, so let's get work to practice these. Now, this is the kind of vocabulary with something that you can easily practice in your everyday life, really without much like preparation needed. Like you don't necessarily have to find many different exercises to be able to practice with your numbers. There are many things that you can count in your everyday life. So that's why I think it's kind of the most practical real life application of these words to help you learn them is by describing what you see around you, by naming how many of things that you see. So please do that in addition to the exercises that you can find, whether the ones we're going to do together or any other ones you might find in a book or whatever your Spanish learning materials are if you're using an app. So we're going to go ahead and do an exercise together. And then as usual, I'm going to post another one on the website after this video. So if you want to practice a little bit more with the concept, then you have an extra practice. But again, I think, as I said, really the top way to practice this kind of thing is to count what you have in your everyday life, which is an easy thing to incorporate. So we are going to try this exercise here. So what we have is we have some kind of skeletons of words of different numbers in Spanish. So we have to look at this and figure out which word are we seeing here and fill in the missing letters. So this one, what we're going to do is if you'd like to participate in this, you're welcome to write your answers in the comments and see if you can find which words they are. But meanwhile, I will go through them slowly if you want to be working through them at home at the same time as me and try to identify these new numbers that we have just learned. This is also definitely a test of your spelling. So let's give it a try. So we start with número uno. So we have 3 letters. Here we have Q, we have I, and we have N. And so we're missing 3 more letters that we have to add to spell out this word. So, ¿qué es? What is this one? Muy bien, we have one in the comments. This is 15. 15, so this is for 15. 15, muy bien. Okay, número dos. So we have C and we have H. So we're missing a letter at the front and the back of this word. This one is 8. 8. Número 3, we have T, we have C, we have A. We're missing 2 letters in the middle. This one will be, remember the ones that started with T? We have either 3 or 13. This one is 13. It is 13. 13. Okay, número 4. This one is the simplest one. We have N and we have O. We're missing just 1 letter at the start. So this is the first number, really. I know we started with 0, but it's really the first number. And so it's uno. This one, almost everyone, whether you're a Spanish learner or not, we know this word, uno, especially if you get made famous by the card game. Uno. Okay, muy bien. Número 5. This one we have T, we have E, we have S. So we're missing 1 letter in the middle. This looks familiar as the 2 numbers we've looked at that started with T. We have here 3. Número 6. This one's a little bit longer. We have C, we have T, we have O, we have C, and we have A. So we're missing 2 letters here, one at the start and one towards the end of it. This is a longer one. We know it's going to start with a K sound, okay? So this one is going to be, if you can remember, 14. 14. Muy bien. Next one, we're going to do, let's see, I'm going to move down and erase these ones as we go down the page. Ooh, sorry, too far. Okay. Regresamos. Okay, here we are. So we have 3 and 14. Now on to número 7. This one starts with S, ends with S. It's going to be 6. Okay, número 8, we have one starting with V, and then we have E in the middle, and it's ending with T, E. This one, we only have 1 number that starts with V, so this one hopefully should be pretty easy. It's a nice giveaway. It's going to be 20. Remembering that, as we've spoken about in previous videos, when we pronounce the V in Spanish, depending on how you want to pronounce it, some people pronounce it more like V, and some people pronounce it more like B. So we could say 20 or 20, and both of them are correct. Just depends on the person. Okay, next one we have is for número 9, okay, starting with C, and then we have N and C in there, so we need to fill in the 2nd letter and the 5th letter. This one is going to be 5, as in Cinco de Mayo. That's another one that even if you're not a Spanish student, you might have heard this word cinco before because of Cinco de Mayo, as in the May 5th holiday. Okay, número 10. We have de at the start and de at the end. We just have one to fill in the middle. This one is dos, 2. All right, on to número 11. Número 11. We have, scroll down a little bit. Sorry, the number's a little bit off now, but we have to see the números 11 and 12 here at the bottom. So número 11 starts with de, ends with zeta. This is a big clue because we only have one number that has the zeta in it, the z, and that's going to be 10 for 10. Yes. Okay, and the last one, número 12, the last one in our list here, we have u and a and r and o. We have to fill in a couple of letters here. So we have cuatro. Cuatro, this is going to be our last number here. Cuatro. C-U-A-T-R-O. Cuatro. Number 4. Okay, muy bien. So that's the end of this exercise. But again, as I said, I'm going to post another exercise up on the website if you want to get some more practice. And I also definitely recommend that you practice it in your daily life by naming the things you see around you. So the last thing we're going to do before we wrap up the video for today is repeat the numbers all together one more time just to help them really sink in. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Muy bien. So that's all we're going to do for today. But then please tune in again on Friday at 12 p.m. for our next Community Spanish, the last one of this week, where we're going to tackle the numbers from 21 to 100. So we're still much more to learn, much more to practice with. Gracias y adiós.